And the fifth and final life-changing contest prep tip is to structure your days. This one actually might be the absolute most important. The night before, I will enter in all of the foods I'm going to eat and around what times I'm going to eat them and what activities I'm going to do throughout the day, so that way I know exactly how the day is going to go. Hey guys, Anthony Pietrobono here, online coach, personal trainer, and university student. And in this video, I want to discuss 5 key ways to make contest prep easier so you don't feel like a zombie, you're not drained 24/7, and you can actually live a normal life. The first half of a 16-week or a 20-week bodybuilding contest prep isn't so bad. Yeah, you're hungry, yeah, your energy is a little bit lower than before, but everything's okay. You're still a normal human, kind of living a normal life. You might be fitting in like some fun foods like protein cookies or protein bars in your macros if you're tracking your macros, and everything should be going like pretty well. You're seeing fat loss consistently, you're loving your results, you're motivated because you can see the changes from week to week. But man, when you're digging in those final stages and you're like 6 weeks out and on, those cravings are through the roof. Your energy is at an all-time low. You're so moody, you literally have no energy for any daily life activities. Like, you won't want to hang out with your friends. Your friends will ask you to just go to the mall, and you'll be like, I'd really rather not, just because you don't even want to move. That can happen in a contest prep, especially if you're too aggressive with your fat loss phase or you've got too many other things going on in your life. So for tip number 1, you'll want to optimize your peri-workout nutrition. Basically, you want to have all of your carbohydrates in your pre, intra, and post-workout meals. If you're doing this, you're going to ensure that you don't feel absolutely terrible when you go to the gym. You won't be dragging yourself to the gym. You'll still be enjoying your workouts. That's the key. So you want to be able to do whatever you can to get the most out of your workouts while you're in prep. So have all of your carbohydrates and your immediate fuel sources in that pre-workout meal, that intra-workout meal. So have highly branched cyclic dextrin or carbolin in the form of a liquid. You can even get away with candy, but I don't really recommend that. You can if you want. And have the rest of the carbs in your post-workout meal. If you really maximize that and you have all 3 bases covered right there, you're going to be training much better. You're going to love your workouts, also retaining more muscle mass because of the improved gym performance. Because one of the first things that happens in prep is that a lot of people just hate their workouts. They're dragging themselves to the gym. They don't want to do their cardio sessions. They don't want to do anything. And they're like, why am I doing this? Because I used to love training, and now it's a chore, right? So you don't want it to become a chore. So make sure you're fueled and ready by having all of your carbohydrates and some fats in the peri-workout setting. So tip number 2 would be to increase your water intake. A lot of the times when we think we're hungry, we're actually just thirsty. So if you drink more water, you're going to be able to feel physically full, and not to mention be more hydrated. So you actually might perform better depending on if you usually don't drink enough water. So as the calories get low, you want to raise your water intake to compensate. You're eating less food, you're feeling less physically full, so get more nutrients through water. And I also allow clients to drink carbonated drinks and artificial sweeteners like using Mio or Crystal Light to add water flavoring, or even branched chain amino acids to their water, so that way it tastes better and then actually enjoy the fluid more. So I don't have an issue with any stevias or artificial sweeteners, because research has shown that these artificial sweeteners like sucralose, that they don't impair fat loss. They don't impair fat loss. They can only have you hold more water extracellularly. That's why I just like to cut it out at the 1 week out mark for people who we know definitely holds water with. And for some clients, we don't really see any issue with it, so we cut it out at the 2 to 3 day out mark just to be safe. But again, I have no issue with carbonated drinks like Diet Coke or Coke Zero or Diet Sprite. Those are fine. Just have 1 a day between meals to curb your appetite and bloat yourself a little bit, and you're fine. It's totally helpful. You'll notice it when you implement those deep into prep, but use it as a tool. So don't use it off the start in the prep. When you get down to those fine details, like I said before, when you get down to the 3 week out mark, 5 week out, maybe 6 weeks out, and you're feeling absolutely terrible and you're always hungry, then that's when you want to use these tools. you want to save them for those times that you feel absolutely terrible. Tip number 3 is to start adding vegetables to the majority of your meals. So green vegetables are nearly free in calories because of the fiber content in there. You can get away with having a decent amount, and they really bloat you. They can really have you feeling full. So a higher fiber intake and vegetables in general are lower in calories. So when you consume them, you consume a lot more and fill up your stomach so it's very full and you actually feel satisfied. You feel like you actually ate some substance. So start adding green vegetables, especially because they're the lowest in calories, to a few of your meals. I personally like to use broccoli, Brussels sprouts, zucchini, and asparagus. Those are like my 4 main go-to green vegetables. And then if you're even deeper in a prep, then what I found really helps is making 1 big salad per day. So I just use a bunch of spinach, kale, spring mix, cut up some cucumbers, and you get a huge bowl of like lettuce and cucumber, and that huge bowl will literally be 100 calories. And then you can add balsamic vinegar, just like 1 tablespoon, and that's all you need. And it's just 40 calories there, and then add some chicken. So you have that 1 salad, and I promise you that's gonna keep you full for hours. I like to have one of those midday just to keep me completely bloated all the way throughout the day until I go train later at night. Then I'm not as bloated by then, right? So with these salads and with these large amounts of vegetables, try to keep it outside of the peri-workout setting. So if you train in the morning, you can have it just after your post-workout meal midday. If you train at night, you can have it in the morning or even in the afternoon, because the bloat will last 3 to 5 hours depending on the individual and how much you ate. But again, yeah, that's key, man. Have these huge salads, just 1 big salad per day, and I guarantee you it's gonna make dieting way easier. But see, that's the thing though. A lot of people will think, oh, like salads, they don't taste great. Trust me though, when you're down to 3 weeks out and everything tastes amazing, so you have one of these salads and you're really enjoying the salad. So the key is to let yourself get bloated. So obviously, if a salad does not sound appetizing to you, like a plain salad, then you're not really digging in your prep yet. So you don't need to implement stuff like that. That's more later on. So you can use some of the previous tips instead, like the water intake and stuff. So tip number 4 would be to brush your teeth after you've eaten all of your food for the night. When you're sitting and you're just bored at night and you just want to eat everything. You want to eat the fridge, but I can guarantee you, once you brush your teeth, you're immediately turned off because it's not going to taste as good as it would if you cheated, and it makes it immediately not worth it to binge or go off your diet. So that helps so much, because after you finish a meal, like right after you eat a meal, your ghrelin is actually spiked for that short period of time, and there's like a 30-minute window of where you just want to eat so much more. It triggers your hunger, so you're feeling like, oh, you're like ravenous. You just want to go eat everything. If you can, right in that moment, go brush your teeth when you really have appetite at an all-time high right after that meal, then immediately can suppress it, and it makes it not worth it. So that's a game changer. That's a game changer right there. So brush your teeth after you've eaten all your food. But another tip with that is you can chew gum throughout the day between meals. So if you've had a meal, same thing. Throw a piece of gum in, just start chewing that, and that'll help. That takes your mind off of eating. You're physically chewing on something, so your body thinks that you're getting nutrients. You're like kind of tricking your body. And I find that helps. So those are 2 key ones. And the 5th and final life-changing contest prep tip is to structure your days. This one actually might be the absolute most important. What I like to do is the night before, I will structure my day. So I will enter in all of the foods I'm going to eat and around what times I'm going to eat them and what activities I'm going to do throughout the day, so that way I know exactly how the day is going to go. Having that background structure, surprisingly enough, will make you follow it a lot more than you think. So when you actually sit down and plan out the next day prior, you're gonna follow a much more structured plan, and you know when to eat your food, so you're not experiencing these super long gaps between meals. You're not stuck somewhere without food, forced to make a random decision or forced to fit some fast food in, because when you do that and you don't have that structure in, it's way easier to make impulse decisions. And impulse decisions are going to lead to binges or falling off your diet or missing a training session or missing a cardio session. So that's a key one. Structure your days the night before, even everything you're going to eat. I highly recommend it. Those are the ways that I make my contest preps easier, and this video is actually mainly for new clients so they can see exactly how I like to help other people make their contest preps easier. So if you guys like the video, make sure you give it a like or share it with any future competitors you just want to help someone else out with these tips. And feel free to subscribe for more vlogs and more informative bodybuilding content like this. And also check out my blog in the description below, where I post articles and have a bunch of free information there just like this.